Readers. Menus.
Hi, this is Dr.
Edit.
Robinson, and today we are going to go ahead and go over part two of Windows 11 setup of your computer with screen readers. Okay, so the first setup that we're going to do is with JAWS. And since I'm actually using JAWS, that's the reason why I'm going to go over in detail. If you use, or really should use at least two, I highly suggest three JAWS, NVDA, and Narrator. But NVDA is insert N to go to all of its preferences. So that's how you're going to change that. Since I'm running JAWS, I'm going to go ahead and go over that in a little more detail. I'm going to do Windows 1 in order to open my context menu.
Windows 1. Taskbar. JAWS context menu. Option sub menu. To move through
Okay,
items, press up.
let's go ahead and enter on options.
Enter. Basics. D.
Okay, and I'm going to enter on
Enter.
basics.
Leaving menus. Basic settings. Dot.
I'm going to hush them up. So I don't want to bump in to my JAWS window. And by default, if you sit on your Alt and tab through your windows, you're going to bump into it. So if you are in basic settings, you can Alt S to run JAWS from your system tray. Laptop mode, I always prefer laptop mode, even if I'm using a desktop computer, because then I have the ability to use both desktop and laptop commands. I have a keypad on my desktop computer, and that gives me the ability to use both. So make sure you do Alt L and change it to laptop. You really need to do that first before you begin any other commands on the computer. Otherwise, you'll wonder why it's just not working well. I prefer a prompt to confirm when exiting JAWS that, and all these are just preferences, Alt X. You can tab around through this window, so you do not have to memorize all of these commands. I'm just giving them to you if you want them. So tab through all of those to just check the boxes you want. Remember, when you bump in, you're going to tab in here, automatically start JAWS, which is Alt J. Check all the boxes and say always begin your JAWS, and then hit enter on that. And then enter and close your basic settings. Okay. So you don't have to hear a lot of talking and just me explain those rules.
Taskbar.
I'm going to go ahead and Windows 1 to open my context menu.
Windows 1. JAWS context menu. To navigate, press up. Basics.
I'm
D.
the right arrow,
Voices sub menu.
and I'm
V.
going down to voices and I hit enter.
Enter. Voice adjustment. V.
And I'm going to hit enter again.
Enter. Leaving menus. Voice adjustment dialog. Profile name. Combo box. Eloquent.
Okay, so here is your opportunity to set up your favorite profiles. I always suggest with students you have like a listening mode where the JAWS needs to be just a bit slower. So if they need to read for content and information and answer questions, they want a slower mode. Maybe they want a slower mode for math. And then they want a faster mode for navigation. And so you can actually label these however you want. I'm going to go ahead and just make a slight adjustment. So then I'm going to do a save as, and it's going to say, do I want to set that as default? If I do, if that's the one I want to listen to at all times, you're going to say yes. If not, you go ahead and say no, and then it's going to ask you to give it a name. And I have kept mine at just the name Eloquence because I have several Spanish and German and other voices in here, so I can easily change those also. So just know this is where you're getting your special synthesizers. You do have to download special voice profiles from the Vispero site. Tab through all of these. Typically, it's the rate that kids want to change because, of course, they gain speed in listening, and they will. So Alt V, and I'm just going to quickly do that,
Alt V. Voice adjust.
and
Combo box.
tab,
Voice rate 60.
and you can tab right to your rate, and you can right arrow and left arrow. If you want to increase it faster, page up and page down. And then I'm just going to increase it a little bit.
21%. 63.
And I'm going to do an Alt S to save as.
Alt S. Save voice profile dialog. Voice profile name. Edit combo. Eloquence. 1 of 6. To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value. Alt plus V. Computer Braille.
So this is where you're going to be naming it. And when you hit enter,
Enter. Replace voice profile dialog. The voice profile Eloquence already exists. Do you want to replace it? Don't ask again. Checkbox not checked. To
I'll
check,
go
press
ahead
space
and
bar.
just do Alt Y and say
Alt
yes.
Y. Hand now raised. Press F6 to reach pop-up and lower
Oops,
hand.
Alt
Menu.
Y.
Alt Y.
I'm
Hand
in
now
Zoom.
lowered.
And that's what it does. I'm just going to hit enter.
Enter. Make default voice profile dialog. Do you want to make Eloquence the default voice profile? Yes button to act.
Okay. So if you're setting up another special profile, like a second or third or fourth language, then you probably don't want that to be your default. I do want this to be my default. I'm going to hit enter on yes.
Enter. Voice adjustment dialog.
And
Profile
enter
name.
again to
Enter.
close.
Taskbar.
Okay, the Braille display is the next big one. So I'm going to Windows 1,
Windows 1. JAWS context menu. Option submenu.
enter,
Enter. Basics. B.
hit L. I am going to tell you, if you down arrow, you're going to get the early adopter program. So if you've been watching my math videos and you need to enable MathCat, you need to go down to early adopter program. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to do the Braille.
Voices sub Braille L. Early adopter program.
Enter.
Enter. Leaving menus.
And of
Taskbar.
course, it
Read
pops
only
up.
edit. Enable and disable features that are still in development. We use the early
Okay. Anyway, this is a very successful now. So you can tab,
MathCat checkbox checked to clear.
just check that and hit enter and to enable that. Okay.
Escape. Taskbar.
Now let's go ahead and go into JAWS again, Windows 1.
Windows 1. JAWS context menu. To navigate, press up or down arrow. O. Options submenu.
Options,
Enter. Basics. B.
down arrow to Braille or L.
L. Leaving menus. Braille basic settings dialog. The active Braille display is focus.
It said the active Braille display is focus. It is. So let's say you want to add a Braille display here. So Alt B to add.
Alt B. Select components dialog. Select the Braille components you want to add or modify. Select the Braille component.
And focus is the first one. I'm going to tell you in general, Braille displays are really picky. I use a focus and I use a brilliant. And so based on what I use, I actually go back in here, I uncheck everything but the Braille display that I want to use. So if you want to have a Braille display that works really pretty flawlessly all the time, just unselect everything else, select the option that you want and hit enter and move forward.
Enter. Set options for the focus display. Focus blue Braille displays connect via USB.
Okay, it's USB. You, of course, can select Bluetooth here also. If you do, then you have to go into your Bluetooth settings on your computer in order to get that set up. I'm just going to hit enter and move forward.
Enter. Select the Braille display that you want to use each time you start JAWS. If the Braille display F focus
There's
2 of 2.
no display, which is hilarious. I'm not really sure why. Computers do constant updates. My focus works pretty flawlessly all the time, despite what that said. So yeah, that's just kind of funny. Okay, it's technology. Yep, hit enter and close.
Enter.
And then JAWS is going to say I have to restart my JAWS.
JAWS synthesizer and Braille manager dialog. You must restart JAWS for the changes to take effect. Okay,
And
but enter.
enter.
Braille basic settings.
Okay, I'm going to use the new really fast command, which is insert space. You hear a click and then hit F4, and it's going to actually shut down and restart very quickly.
Space. JAWS, Windows Setup, Docs Word, Microsoft Word.
And those are the main features in there. You can find everything you need to about your JAWS license. And of course, if you need to update anything, you go to the About on that. So that's how you just get into your applications key or your context menu of your JAWS and roam around there. Okay, and once again, NVDA is insert N. Okay, the next big crucial one
JAWS,
is
setup screen, setup display blank, NVDA, insert N.
once again, I highly suggest teaching all students JAWS, NVDA, and Narrator.
Blank.
Mainly because if they learn Narrator, they can set up their own computers anytime they need to. So they can just buy them right out of the box and just get it set right up.
Reset Word when you have issues. Percent misspelled, data percent Microsoft templates.
Okay, so if you've been watching some of my Word, like when I use the Braille Math Editor, I have to do Control V to paste. Well, I know I have issues, but I know how to get around it. But I also love it when my computer has issues because other people do too. And that's your get around. But this is the big one. When your Word really has issues, you can go into your templates, your Microsoft templates. You're going to get rid of it, and then you're just going to rebuild it. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I also need to take you into all the autocorrect options. And then, of course, we'll set up the font and the spacing and all of that also again. So I'm going to Windows R. That's how you get into it.
Windows R. Run dialog. Type the name of a program, folder, document, or enter
Now I'm just
open
going to hit
percent.
percent, even though that was in there. Once it's in there, it's always in there. So I can down arrow to it, and it will be there.
Percent app data percent Microsoft templates.
What I will also tell you is, and if you start typing percent app data, it will start to populate and you can down arrow to that. And then you just have to do your backslash, and it's a Microsoft product. So start typing Microsoft and that will populate and you can down arrow to it. Hit your backslash and then you want to go into your templates. Let's hit enter on that.
Enter. See users mail app data roaming Microsoft
Good.
template.
First thing it's going to tell me is I have to have my Word closed. So now that I have this open, I'm going to go ahead and Alt Tab back to Word and I'm just going to close it.
Windows setup. Docs
Alt
Word. To move.
F4.
Alt F4. Save button. To activate. Press space bar.
Sure,
Alt plus
Alt
S. Alt
S.
S.
Why not? Okay. And we're back.
See users mail app data roaming.
Okay, this is your normal template. So if you've never quite understood when I'm discussing this will affect your normal template, this is what I'm talking about. So this is what automatically comes in with your Office, and your normal template is here. Let me hit N.
N. Normal. Dot. 9
There
of
it
10.
is. You have a normal email. You have any other fancy things. I have BANA and DBT in here, and some other items that I have added, but it's the normal template that we want to get rid of. So I'm just going to hit delete.
Items view multi-select list.
And it's gone. I'm going to Alt F4 and close this. And when I open Word, we're going to now, it's going to set it back to its defaults. And so then we can rebuild it. Alt F4.
Alt F4.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and open Word again.
Double O Word app. Press
Enter.
enter. Opening Word. Home. New blank document button. 2 of 2.
I'm going
To
to hit
active
enter on that. I'll open my other document
Edit.
later. Okay, so if I insert F,
12 point. Black on white. Aptos. Normal style. Line spacing. 1 lines. Paragraph formatting. Aligned left. Outline level. Body text.
okay, so Aptos, that is the new default. The letters are very straight. They're very easily read. That is not one of the defaults for if you're in school, in college, writing APA or MLA papers. They're going to typically require, and I just put Times New Roman, that's always been one of the standards. They have other options you can choose. That one is not one of them yet. So we're going to actually change that. Control D.
Control D. Font. Edit combo. Body T. I. M.
That's all you have to do. And down onto Times New Roman.
Tim. Times New Roman.
Okay, so you have to change two things in font and two things in spacing. If you've watched my other videos, you know that. I'm going to tab twice and make sure it really says 12.
Font style, size, edit combo 12 to set the value.
So they did change that the last time they did an update in Word. Yahoo, I love that. So you only have to change one thing in the font box now. I'm going to do Alt D. It's going to ask me, do I want to do it just for this normal template or for all templates based on the normal template? I want to do all of them. So I'm going to do Alt D and then I'm going to do Alt A.
Alt D. Set as default button to activate all documents based on the normal template. Radio button check to change the selection.
And now you truly understand what the normal template is. Enter.
Enter. Document 1 word.
The next is, and I mentioned this before, Alt OP always used to work. I'm going to just try it one more time in here to see if maybe that redoing that helped. Let's see.
Alt O, upper E, leaving menus, leaving ribbons, Alt plus D.
I love it. So that one stopped working for me, but my Word template really had been mucked up for a while. You copy and paste, you're doing a lot of work in it, and things just don't work well. Well, my Alt OP did not work anymore. And you can see that in my other videos. But if you need to go to your layout, it's Alt P to layout and then PG to your settings. You'll get this identical box. The ones that we need to change is they still do multi-spacing and it's 8 point. So it's the after spacing you need to change. You can tab a whole bunch of times to go through here, or I'm just going to give you the command of Alt F.
Alt F after edit combo 8 PT to set the value. Use the 0
it
0
needs to be 0. I'm going to tab once. I'm going to hit S for single.
Line spacing combo box multiple S single 1 of 6.
Now, what I will tell you is if you change that to single and you still do not change that 8 point, guess what? it's still going to look like multi-spacing. When you write a paper and you do Control 2 for double spacing, it's going to be extra longer because it's going to have the additional 8 point in that double spacing. So it's going to look double and a half. Okay. So that's the reason why it's so essential to get your default set up. Once again, I'm going to do Alt D to set as default and Alt A for all templates based on the normal template. Alt D.
Alt D, paragraph, OK button to
Alt A.
activate. Alt A, all documents based on the normal template.
Enter.
Rate enter. Document
Beautiful.
1 word. Edit.
Okay, so that part is done. And now I'm going to go back to my cheat sheet of notes. I'm going to do Alt F and go to my most recent.
Alt F, menu, home, new group, search, recent, Windows setup, docs,
Here we go.
most recently, enter, leaving menus. Windows setup, docs, Word, print, edit.
Okay, beautiful. So we've changed the Word font and spacing, and now we're going to change the Word autocorrect. So this has to do with math. There's a lot of autocorrect features in here that automatically happen that are really problematic for screen reader users because it's like magic happening. Numbered lists are one big problem. Anyway, I'm going to do Alt F to file and T to options. JAWS is going to talk a lot. So when you get into the autocorrect features, you can down arrow and really look through all of that. But I'm just going to hit P for proofing. So I don't have to, fight JAWS and while I'm talking this. Remember, Alt F, then T, then P. Here we go.
Alt F, menu, home to move T. Leaving menus, list box word options, P, proofing, 3 of 11.
Now, you can tab to autocorrect features, but I'm just going to do Alt-A to autocorrect options.
Alt-A, proofing, autocorrect options, button. Now,
some of these I've rechecked and other ones I've just unchecked. So you're going to Shift Tab, you're going to hear Replace Text as you type. You do want that one checked.
Replace text as you type checkbox checked. A clear check.
Now, you're going to Shift Tab. You're going to continue to Shift Tab all the way to the top until you hear Show Autocorrect Options button. That's the only other one that you want checked here. There is one at the very, very bottom, but you're not going to bump into it where it says automatically use suggestions from spelling checker. But you're not even going to get to that one because that one's all the way at the bottom. You want to uncheck all those. I'm just going to quickly Shift Tab through them so you can hear, and I've already unchecked them. So you Shift Tab, space, and you just keep unchecking.
Correct accidental usage of C apps lock key checkbox not checked. To check, press spacebar, Alt+L.
And I can continue to go 4 times more up, but you don't need to listen to JAWS talk all the way through every single one of those. But those are, once again, just magical things that are happening, and they're going to change things on you based on how you're typing, based on those autocorrect features, not advantageous for screen reader users. I'm going to Control Tab past Math Autocorrect and go to Auto Format as you type.
Math Autocorrect tabs. Auto format as you type tab selected to switch page.
Now, some of these I've rechecked just so I can go through them. But typically, if you want to just immediately deal with the automatic numbered list, tab 8 times, you'll pop there. But in general, tab all the way through here and really decide, well, what do you really want? Some of these don't bother me. I like my automatic bulleted list. That one does not become problematic to me. But if it does for you, go ahead and take that off. Let's go ahead and tab through here.
Straight quotes with smart quotes checkbox not checked. To check, press space. Ordinals first with superscript checkbox checked. To clear checkmark, press space not checked. Fractions January 2nd with fraction character 1/2 checkbox checked. To space not checked.
Check.
Hyphens with dash checkbox checked. To clear.
This one you really do need to take off, because let's say you're actually doing a math equation. You do 6 minus 4 and you forget to do the math editor of all equals. If you do all equals after that, it's going to say n dash, and that is going to sound really funny to you. Now visually it looks perfect, so the sighted teacher that you hand your work into is not going to have a problem. But if you're like me and you know that's going to bother you, even though because you want it to say minus, hit your space bar and uncheck it.
Space, not check.
Okay. I'm just going to continue to tab. Internet and network paths with hyperlinks, I do want those. Want those kept in there. I'm going to be able to select it, Control K, and paste in the URL of wherever I copied it from. So I'm going to just tab now to automatic numbered lists.
Bold and italic with internet and automatic numbered lists checkbox not checked. To check.
That's the big one to uncheck. Okay. So go ahead and now I'm just going to hit enter and close this box.
Enter. Windows setup.
Okay.
Docs Word.
I'm going to hush them up. Now you can either tab like 50 times in order to get down to your OK button, or, and you do have to tab off this. If you hit enter again, your autocorrect options box is going to open. You're going to tab once you get to a checkbox. That's all you need to do. And you hit enter. Enter is the default to say no matter where I am at in my dialog box, I'm done. Now close my dialog box. I'm going to tab once and enter, and the word options box will close.
When correcting spelling in Mike, enter.
And
Edit.
it's gone. Okay, so now my auto correct is off. The next one we want to deal with is Gmail, setting it up to work with Outlook. You always have to go to Gmail first or your email, whatever you want to do, and then go back and set up your mail client. Outlook just happens to be a big one. So I'm going to Alt Tab now to Gmail, and we're going to move that into position. Hold on.
Document 1 Word.
Another
Zoom
screen.
inbox tech 20 student Gmail.
There we
Gmail.
go.
Shift Windows right arrow.
Focus. Okay. So what we want to do is we actually want to go into your settings first. Let me go ahead and control home.
Inbox tech 20 student Gmail. Gmail. Inbox tech 20 student.
Yeah. Insert F5 is going to be fastest.
Select a form field dialog. List
Control
1 list view.
home.
Basic HTML.
And I'm going to hit S for settings. And I'm going to say basic HTML is really basic. And Google is eventually going to get rid of that. So right now it's good. Go ahead and kick it into gear and move it into standard view mode. All your power is in standard mode anyway. Let's hit S to settings.
Search settings button. Enter to activate. Press enter. Banner enter.
Open.
Quick settings context menu.
I'm going to tab to see all
Close
settings.
button. See all settings button to enter. Settings tech 20 student.
You can tab, you can do many things. I can right arrow, insert F5 again. I do love that. I'm going to go ahead and right arrow.
N.
No, I'm not. I'm going to
November labels, inbox, accounts, filters, forwarding, and pop image.
Okay. So Google has done a full update August 1st. And a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm having issues with it. And then I remind them it's done an update. But there's another trick to that. If you actually don't enable it, your drive just works really poorly. So I'm going to show you how to change that in just a moment. I'm going to hit enter on forwarding and pop.
Enter forwarding and pop image tab selected.
Okay, so I'm going to tab, and you actually go through your headings first before you get in here. Or actually, you know what? Nope, that doesn't want to work either.
Add on, chat, offline, themes table, column 1. Add a forwarding address button, column 2.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that is really handy. If you have a whole bunch of emails, you can actually add all your emails into one email, and you can actually tell it how you want it to be answered also. We're not addressing that issue right now.
Creating a filter. Learn more about enable pop for all mail radio button not checked.
So you can enable pop or you can enable map. I just say, you know what, go ahead and enable both because Outlook will take a look at this and it's going to say, oh, it's enabled both. It's going to be even easier to set it up. So we're going to go ahead and enable pop for all.
Enable pop for all mail radio button checked 1 of 1.
Yeah, but the next one is
enable pop for all enable pop for mail that arrives from now on radio button not checked.
That's
enable
actually the one I suggest sending because if you have like 2,000 emails still in there and they're really old, don't bring in the old. So enable pop for mail that arrives from now on. Tab through.
Combo box. Keep Gmail's copy in the inbox.
Yeah. I always highly suggest have a backup copy. Just keep the copy in Gmail. So if you delete it out of your Outlook, no big deal. You don't have to panic. You can go back into Gmail. Now, if you're really diligent in keeping a nice and tidy email, then change that. Okay.
Configuration instructions link.
Okay. There's your configuration instructions for Outlook and Dora, Netscape. Well, that Netscape Mail. That doesn't exist anymore. At least I don't think it does. Anyway, Outlook is the big one. So you can hit enter on that and it's going to go through and it's actually going to give you the numbers that you need to input for your IMAP and your POP.
Learn more about disable IMAP radio button checked. Column to enable IMAP radio button not checked. Enable IMAP radio button.
Enable IMAP and don't you just love how that pronounce that. You're going to tab through and you're going to see a whole lot of other features.
Auto expunge off. Wait for the client to update the server. Radio button.
Okay, so when I mark a message in IMAP as deleted, how do you want to handle that? Do you want to wait for the client to update the server? Do you want to immediately update the server? So I'm going to bypass all of this. I highly suggest going through, make sure you read that so you know exactly what you need to do. And of course, there's another configuration, your email for IMAP instructions below here. I'm just going to hit B for button and jump to save changes.
Save changes button.
Okay, and you have to save, otherwise nothing really has happened. Enter.
Enter unavailable. Settings Tech 20 student
There's
team.
an
We need
available
to verify it's you to continue. We need to enter.
Enter.
Blank.
Okay, I'm going to control tab to drive.
Home Google Drive.
Okay, so here is the issue with all things Google right now. Even though everything updated August 1st, I'm getting these reports of, oh my gosh, this is not really working well. Let me find out where I'm at first. Insert tab.
Settings button menu. Press space to activate the menu. Space expanded menu. Settings menu to move through items. Press up or down arrow. Keyboard shortcuts. Get drop settings menu.
And enter on settings menu.
Enter leaving menus. Settings Google Drive.
Here is the page. You're going to tab through here and it's going to say update now. If you do not have that box checked, guess what? Your drive is not going to work well. Let's tab through all the radio buttons.
15 KB of 5 byte view light. Start. Choose your density. Open P. Uploads group. List with 1 items. Offline group. Learn more link. Not recommend.
And really do listen to all of these because you're going to want to select some and unselect others.
File preview. C shortcut. Update keyboard shortcuts. Right now there. Checkbox checked. To clear.
Yep. So when I first, because I test one, when I want to test everything. So when I created this, I went into it and oh my gosh, I knew August 1st because my other Googles have updated and they work beautifully with the new commands. And this one would not, it would not do anything. And I thought, okay, I bet I have to update this one also in order to actually use the keyboard commands. Sure enough, as soon as I checked this and went back to Drive, everything worked beautifully. So check that box. Update keyboard shortcuts now, and life will be good. I'm going to Alt left arrow.
Going back, main region, 1 columns and 1 rows. Upload.
Okay, 1 columns, 1 row. The first thing is Google automatically sets these up in grid view. I'm going to hit V. Oh, that's right. They changed it when they went in the settings. Insert F5.
Select a form field.
You're going to very quickly find out what you can and cannot do. So you've got keyboard shortcuts button, so that will actually tell you what you can do also. But right now, just hit V for view details button.
V, view details button, 11 of 29.
Okay, and we're looking, actually for the list.
L, location button, L, list or grid layout, Alt V, then L, list radio button checked, 21 of 29.
Alt V, then L. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's try the command. That's what's really nice about this, is it actually has the commands in here too. List or grid layout. Let's see.
List or grid layout, Alt V, then L, grid radio button not checked, 22 of 29.
Okay, so you can actually choose. We're gonna actually do the command Alt V then L, just so you can see it work.
Escape on upload.
Here we go. Alt V.
Alt V L. Change to grid view.
That's grid view. We hate that. Alt V and then
Alt V L. More info. Alt rightward 0.
Change to love list. It. Okay. So and I just automatically set that up, and now, well, yeah, I remember that command. Sounds familiar. Okay, let's go to navigation, which was always GN, but now it's Alt G, then N.
Alt G, N, navigation region, folders and views tree, my drive, cloak, computer, shared, recent.
Easy enough. Let's go ahead and just hit N.
N.
Oh, I love that. How about Alt N?
Alt N, menu, new folder, Alt C, then F menu.
So basically what they've done is they've just added the command Alt to all the older commands that you guys already know. So if your drive is acting really funky, go to your settings and check that box. And then, of course, all the commands actually kick in because the old commands don't really work if you don't do it. And then, of course, the new commands are not working until you change it also. And that will improve all of that. Okay, let me go back to Word and see.
Leaving menus, Windows setup, Docs, Word,
Gmail settings. Oh, yeah, Outlook. Okay, so let's go ahead and go off to Outlook.
Search O-U-T, Outlook app, without, enter.
And hit escape. Okay.
Inbox, melon.
Yeah. Now I'm going to hit escape out of this. I'm not going to sign in because I want to go to how you set this up.
Escape, Outlook, escape, inbox, melon, or odd.
Okay. Alt F. So if you get a pop-up also and you don't want to sign in, just keep hitting escape and it goes away. I'm going to do Alt F to go to file.
Alt F, menu, info to move through.
Tab to add new account. Okay, I heard a ding, and that's usually a reminder. So the first thing I'm going to do is sit on my Alt and tab to the reminder.
Leaving menus. Windows. Home.
Oh
Set.
gosh.
Zoom. Screen. Virtual. Zoom. One reminder.
Yeah,
S. One
that's that
reminder.
Zoom. Okay, so there's two ways to dismiss this. Alt D just dismisses this one. Let's say there were a whole bunch in there. Start rattling off all the different events. I can Alt A. If you don't remember that, just tab.
Dismiss button to activate. Press spacebar. Alt plus D.
Okay, so it always gives the command to you. And so I'm giving you all these commands, but you can tab to them for reminders. I'm going to Alt A.
Alta. Microsoft Outlook dialog. Are you sure you
Yep,
want to enter? File
I
list
am.
box. Info. 2 of 10.
Okay,
To move to an
info.
item.
I'm back in my file box. I'm going to tab to add account.
Info. Select add account button. 2 of 2.
And
Add any enter. List box. Unread. Globe Life Alert. Fast approval process for burial insurance. Wed 8720.
Now, the problem I can already
Email
see
address edit.
is I have no idea what that that password is for my Tech 20 student, but I'm going to type that in there.
TECH20ST
This is the easy part.
Tech 20 GAILGCOM.
Okay. Now, if you have already set up your IMAP and your plop, and typically it will connect right up, and all you have to do is just insert your password.
Enter. Adding Tech 20 student Gmail. Accounts. Sign in. Email or phone edit. Tech 20 student Gmail.
Okay, so there it is. So just tab to next.
Forgot email. Privacy policy. Next button to activate.
And
Press spacebar.
enter or spacebar.
Enter. Sign in Google Accounts page. Sign in Google Accounts page.
Okay.
Learn
Perfect.
more link.
Okay.
Try again link.
Now, the browser app may be in secure mode. Let me show you how you're going to deal with that. Okay, I'm going to Windows 3 and go back.
Windows 3, Home Google Drive, new button menu. Press space to activate the menu, then navigate.
Control tab.
Settings Tech 20 student
Back
Gmail, Home Gmail, settings Tech.
Okay, so I'm going to insert F5.
Select the form field dialog.
I'm going to hit G.
Google account. Tech student Tech 20 student Gmail. Enter. Settings Tech 20 student Gmail. Enter. Expanded. Close menu.
You're going to tab to manage your Google account.
Account. Manage your Google account. Opens a new enter. Loading page. Google account. Google account. Loading.
Okay. You're going to actually pull up your security. You can do a find command for it. You can go to your link. You can tab several times. I'm just going to go ahead and tab.
Google banner reach. Search reach. Help. Google Apps. Google navigation region. List with personal info. Data and security link. Enter. Google account document, main region, security heading. Now,
the reason why I'm not going to be able to do this is because I have, oh no, I don't have two-step verification on. If you do, you won't be able to do this, so just be aware of that. I'm going to go to less secure apps. I'm going to
manage your see enhanced safe browsing for your account, more personalized protections against dangerous webs on link.
And there's our offending issue. Hit spacebar.
Space. Loading security document. Main region. Turn off enhanced safe space. Enhanced safe browsing for learn more. Keep on. Turn off button. Space. Enhanced safe browsing for your account.
You have to turn that off. Ready? Alt tab back.
Settings Tech 20 student Gmail. Gmail to move to an item. Press the arrow keys.
With Outlook issues. And I've lost
it. Inbox. Mailbox Hotmail.
Okay, and insert tab.
Sign in. Combo box. Try again link.
And enter.
Enter. Sign in Google accounts page. Computer Braille. Email or phone edit. TECH20STDENT.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it at gmail.com because this is a sign into Google.
Tech 20 student. Enter. Next button to activate. Press space. Star. Enter. Next button to activate. Press space bar. Redirecting page. Allow button to activate. Press space page. Email account setup. Adding Tech 20 student Gmail.com account successfully added.
And it's added. So it's that easy. But if you get that, oh, your secure account, you can't do that, then you know you have to go back. And typically you always do. And I actually thought I'd done that, but it's really nice that I didn't, so I could actually show you how to do that. And just tab to done.
Add another email. Open button. Notch. Next button. Advanced setup. Done button to active space. Turn on enhanced.
Voila. That easy. Okay, let's go back to
inbox Tech 20 set Windows setup. Docs Word.
Doing. So that is how you set up Outlook. That's a whole other lesson in order to use Outlook really well. And set up Drive and List mode, and we just did that. Okay, so that is basically how you add Part 2, Windows 11, set up your computer with screen readers and get you going. If I've missed anything, just email me, techvisiontraining@gmail.com, and I'll add that to the video list. Okay, thank you, everyone. It's always a ball working with you. I'm going to Alt Control Shift to my Zoom and Alt Q to end.
Alt Q, end meeting for enter.